In the 1860s, an American paleontologist was studying mollusk fossil specimens found near the city of Iquitos, located alongside the Amazon River. The fossils came from soil layers rich in traces of ancient life, yet they held several peculiarities. Even though they weren't geologically ancient, these fossils displayed shapes and characteristics unlike any modern animals in the region. More puzzling, some of these creatures were aquatic species, despite Iquitos being more than 2,000 kilometers from the nearest sea. This sparked a massive question for researchers. How could marine fossils be found so deep within the Amazon? To answer that, we need to explore how the Amazon River was formed in ancient times and what kinds of life existed there before the rainforest covered the region. The Amazon is an awe-inspiring river, home to millions of species of animals and plants. In fact, at least 27 new species have been discovered in the Amazon, ranging from the swimming mouse to the blob-headed fish resembling armored catfish. The entire ecosystem is fueled by water flowing down from the Andes in Peru, traveling along a 4,000 kilometers path before reaching the Atlantic Ocean. But millions of years ago, during the Eocene epoch around 34 million years ago, the rivers of the Amazon didn't flow eastward to the Atlantic. Instead, they flowed westward toward the Pacific Ocean. This created a landscape vastly different from today's lush Amazon rainforest. The western Amazon, now the site of the Andes Mountains, was once an open savanna with patches of forest surrounding the rivers. At that time, the Atlantic Ocean was narrower, since the separation between South America and Africa was still geologically recent. Winds carried less moisture westward, and without the Andes Mountains acting as a barrier, this moisture rarely fell as rain. As a result, the western Amazon remained dry. Fossils found near the Santa Rosa River in Peru give us insights into this ancient Amazon ecosystem, known as Proto-Amazonia. It was home to small mammals like rodents, the primitive mammal Perilests, and a tree-dwelling marsupial called Peucatalops. On the grassy plains near the rivers, diverse groups of herbivorous mammals called Notungulata grazed. However, this state of affairs didn't last. As South America drifted westward, it collided with the Nazca Plate, an oceanic tectonic plate in the eastern Pacific. This subduction process pushed the Earth's crust upward, giving birth to the Andes Mountains around 23 million years ago. The rise of the Andes drastically altered water flow across the continent. Rivers that once flowed westward could no longer pass the growing mountains. At the same time, they couldn't yet flow eastward due to the land structure. This caused vast amounts of water to accumulate in lowlands at the center of the continent, forming a gigantic wetland filled with lakes, swamps, and interconnected rivers, an ecosystem known as the Pebas system. This system stretched over an area of approximately 1 million square kilometers, roughly the size of modern Egypt. It was home to many unique species both on land and in water, distinct from today's Amazon wildlife. On land, marsupials like Sparacidonta dominated the forest floor as agile predators. High above, monkeys like capuchins and marmosets leapt between trees. In the waters, strange creatures like the semi-aquatic Astropitherium lived in the swamps and lakes, resembling a cross between a tapir and a hippopotamus. But the most astonishing residents of the Pebas system were ancient crocodiles. At least 7 species have been identified here, including the largest crocodile that ever lived, Purosaurus. This colossal caiman species lived around 13 million years ago during the Miocene and could grow up to 12.5 meters long, about the size of a London double-decker bus. Fossils of Purosaurus were first discovered in 1982 in Brazil. There are 3 known species: Purosaurus brasiliensis, Purosaurus nivensis, and Purosaurus mirandai with P. brasiliensis being the largest. Unlike giant crocodiles like Sarcosuchus from the dinosaur era, Purosaurus was closely related to modern caimans, but with an exceptionally powerful bite. So powerful, some suggest it could crush bones more efficiently than the mighty T. rex. Another odd crocodile species was Mourasuchus, with a broad, flat head resembling a duck's bill and small teeth, unsuitable for large prey. Some researchers believe it fed by filtering water for small fish, arthropods, or even plants, much like modern baleen whales. Yet another was Caiman wanasucus, a mollusk-eating crocodile equipped with specialized small teeth perfect for crushing hard shells. Additionally, the proximity of the Pebas system to the Caribbean Sea allowed marine animals to venture inland. One of these was the giant freshwater dolphin Pebenista yacuruna, growing up to 3.5 meters long, the largest freshwater dolphin ever known. As the Andes continued to rise, heavy rains carried vast amounts of sediment downstream, gradually burying the Pebas system and transforming it into a large river network that eventually began flowing eastward to the Atlantic Ocean. This marked the birth of the modern Amazon River around 10.5 million years ago. One key phenomenon that shaped the Amazon's evolution is stream capture, a geological process where one river system hijacks another's flow. This redirected the ancient rivers of the Pebas system toward the Atlantic, forming an entirely new and expansive drainage network. We can still observe this process today, such as the Casiquiara Canal diverting waters between the Orinoco and Amazon basins. However, this transformation spelled doom for many Pebas species. Giant crocodiles like Purosaurus and Mourasuchus went extinct, while the mollusk-eater Caiman wanasucus survived a bit longer before vanishing when its prey disappeared. Combined with climate change that dried up the region, even terrestrial predators like Sparassodonta struggled to survive when lush forests became open canopies. Once the Pebas system vanished, the region was divided into the three modern river systems: the Madeira, the Orinoco, and the Amazon itself. This division triggered a massive diversification of species, especially among fish and other aquatic creatures. Formerly isolated water systems became interconnected, creating migration corridors for countless species. Today, the Amazon stands as one of the largest and most complex ecosystems on Earth, home not only to an incredible diversity of animals and plants, but also to indigenous human communities, living far from modern civilization. In the 1860s, an American paleontologist was studying mollusk fossil specimens found near the city of Iquitos, located alongside the Amazon River. The fossils came from soil layers rich in traces of ancient life, yet they held several peculiarities. Even though they weren't geologically ancient, these fossils displayed shapes and characteristics unlike any modern animals in the region. More puzzling, some of these creatures were aquatic species, despite Iquitos being more than 2,000 kilometers from the nearest sea. This sparked a massive question for researchers. How could marine fossils be found so deep within the Amazon? To answer that, we need to explore how the Amazon River was formed in ancient times and what kinds of life existed there before the rainforest covered the region. We often imagine the Amazon as a lush green jungle, filled with exotic animals and towering trees. But millions of years ago, this land was vastly different. Back then, before the rise of the Andes Mountains, the rivers in the region didn't flow toward the Atlantic Ocean, but instead emptied westward into the Pacific. The western Amazon was an open savanna with expansive grasslands and scattered forests, a far cry from the dense rainforest we see today. As tectonic shifts pushed South America westward, it collided with the oceanic Nazca Plate. This powerful geological interaction gave birth to the towering Andes Mountains. The rise of these mountains acted like a gigantic wall, blocking the rivers that once flowed westward. With nowhere else to go, the waters pooled in central South America, creating an enormous wetland known as the Pebas system, a sprawling network of lakes, swamps, and rivers, covering an area larger than modern-day Egypt. The Pebas system became a sanctuary for bizarre and colossal creatures. On land, apex marsupial predators roamed freely, while in the treetops, nimble monkeys navigated the lush canopy. But the real giants lived in the water. Purosaurus, the largest caiman to ever exist, could grow as long as 12.5 meters, with a bite force stronger than a T-Rex. Alongside it lived Mourasuchus, a duck-faced crocodile that filtered small prey from the water, and Caiman wanasucus, a shell-crushing reptile adapted to feed on mollusks. What's even more fascinating is that marine animals once ventured into this vast wetland. Gigantic freshwater dolphins like Pebenista yacuruna swam these ancient waters, some reaching lengths over 3 meters, rivaling their oceanic cousins. Eventually, as the Andes continued to rise and climate conditions shifted, sediments buried the Peba system, giving way to the mighty Amazon River we know today, an evolutionary event marked by river piracy, where new rivers hijacked older water systems. This change not only reshaped the continent's geography but also drove many species to extinction, while others adapted and thrived in the new environment. Today, the Amazon basin stands as a testament to Earth's dynamic history, a place of unparalleled biodiversity and deep evolutionary secrets, still hiding countless mysteries beneath its waters and soil. Every fossil found is a window into a lost world, reminding us that what we see today is just a fleeting moment in Earth's long story. If you're fascinated by how ancient life shaped the world we live in today, don't forget to subscribe to Paleo Insights. Here, we explore the incredible stories of prehistoric creatures, ancient ecosystems, and the forces that molded our planet. Like, comment, and share this video if you want more deep dives into Earth's ancient past. Let's uncover the forgotten chapters of our planet together.